going, everybody? It's Tuesday night and time for another video. For those of you that have only ever seen our videos, we actually do a podcast every Monday. It's called Good Movie Monday, so that might help you contextualize what we talk about here. But hey Ben, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, it's going well, mate. Going great. Even though I
Excellent.
just had a stroke and lost the ability to speak properly.
Well, obviously this is very unscripted, and on the show this week we talked about road movies or road trip movies, so I thought we'd carry on that conversation tonight. This will be interesting because I'm just going to have to sort of go off the top of my head, I think.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I only prepared the two that I spoke about on the show.
Well, there are just so many. Like when you think about it, there are just so many road movies that sometimes you don't even think of them as road movies, but they actually are road movies.
Exactly. So the one I was thinking before, that I never mentioned on the show, but it's the most obvious, is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, that's Mr. Jarek Kahan's favorite film, or one of his favorite films, next to things like Cocoon and.
If I had to compile a
Eddie the
list of
Eagle.
100 favorite films of all time, this would easily make top 20 for sure.
See, the thing, I've never seen it fully. I've never seen the whole film.
It's beautiful, man. Like, it makes you cry.
I mean, look, I love John Candy. I've just never been that sold on Steve Martin.
Yeah, right.
But
it's a marriage made in heaven, man. Like,
oh yeah, but Steve Martin getting frustrated at other people being silly, it's never done it for me. Like, I didn't really like it in Father of the Bride. I don't like it.
It's a funny thought though, because he's like one of the silliest of them all when you look back to his early work.
Yeah, that's right. If you look back at things like The Jerk and Man with Two Brains and
his stand-up comedy.
And his stand-up comedy, yeah.
Maybe you're more a fan of the unofficial remake, Due Date.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
No, did you watch that?
I've never seen.
Was that Todd Phillips, I think, that did The Hangover?
Yeah, I know. I ordered a lot of copies of it when I was managing the DVD collection, but
it does have a very memorable fapping moment. I will say that.
I enjoy good fapping.
I'd love to know who recorded that sound effect in the Foley department.
They probably just got it from a stock library.
Recorded
just like all the Pornhub provided by the Pornhub, stock library.
Maybe he just got a microphone and went. That's exactly it. Now close your eyes, imagine Zach Galifianakis. All right, what's some that come to your mind?
There's so many. Like the big ones for me are movies like Midnight Run, Mighty Breast's Midnight Run with Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro, and Taggart from Beverly Hills Cop, John Ashton. That's a fantastic film. Blues Brothers is a phenomenal road movie that you often don't think about as a road movie, but it's very much a road movie.
And so far, both of your suggestions have had slightly inferior sequels.
Yes, that is true. Well, here's another one with a slightly inferior sequel. Death Race 2000 is a fantastic road movie, and it has a series of inferior sequels and remakes. There's one I actually watched again, and I hadn't seen it since it was on new release on video. Is a movie called Leap Year with Amy Adams. Amy Adams, who is absolutely mind-blowingly attractive in this film, even though she is a bit obsessive compulsive. But and I can never remember the guy's name. I think he's got a brother.
He's a bit puncy, isn't he? He's like in one of those princess movies, like First Daughter or something like that.
He could be in First Daughter. I can't remember who the guy. No, I can never remember who the guy in First Daughter is. But I think he's. I think it's like. No, I can't.
Matt.
I can't remember. I can't remember his name. But that movie is actually, funnily enough, that's a road movie. They turned that into a road movie because
It's not Matthew Good, is it?
Oh, look, why don't we solve this live on air by just jump on over to the old IMDb, because my brain isn't what it used to be. In fact, my brain never was what it used to be.
In the meantime,
It is. Wait for it. Wait for it. You're right, Matthew. Good.
boom.
But funnily enough, this movie is a remake of a film called I Know Where I'm Going. I Know Where I'm Going, which I don't know if you've seen. Criterion put it out on a DVD. I think it's come out on Blu-ray since. It's an English film. I think it's directed by Carol Reed, but I'm not 100% sure. And that original film is about this woman travels to Scotland to where I don't know if she's ever met this guy, but she's kind of corresponded with this guy who's like a laird, a Scottish laird who lives in this kind of mansion on this island. And she gets to she gets to the shore of this island, but there's a terrible storm and she can't get over there and she's stuck there. It's Wendy Hiller plays the woman. She was probably most well known for starring in Pygmalion, pre Audrey Hepburn's My Fair Lady. But she's stuck on this island with Roger Livesey, who's a local kind of Scot. He's back from the army, and as the movie kind of goes on, she slowly kind of falls in love with Roger Livesey, even though he's broke. And the guy who lives on the island is rich, and that's pretty much why she's told herself that's why she's in love with him. And it turns out, there's lots of twists and turns and stuff, and there's a great kind of musical. They go to a ceilidh, I believe they call it, like this kind of a party, and everyone kind of sings, and it's this phenomenal thing. I can't remember the actual name of this. It's like round singing, but it's actually apparently. It's impossible to actually record to get the full impact of round singing on like equipment, like digital equipment cannot actually capture the full sound. It's this kind of like vocal phenomenon, but it's a great sequence in the film. But anyway, that's basically what that movie's about. In Leap Year, she is engaged to Adam Scott, who they've been going out together for 4 years, and he hasn't proposed. So she hears there's an old kind of family legend that on the leap year, on the 29th, in Ireland, a woman can propose to the man. That's the only time it's allowed in a very kind of traditional, Irish setting. And her grandmother or great grandmother did it. So, and Adam Scott travels over to Ireland for a medical convention. He's a cardiologist. So she plans to follow him over there and propose on this leap day. But while she's flying over there, there's a terrible storm, and instead of landing in Ireland, she gets diverted to Wales and has to somehow travel from Wales to where he's staying in Dublin. And she does a whole bunch of things. She gets trapped, and then eventually she meets up with Adam Good, who she basically pays €500 to drive her from this little Irish village to Dublin, and all these sort of things happen along the way. So this whole road trip part of the film is not in the original. The original, she's pretty much there, and it's her being stuck in this one place for the entire film. Whereas in Leap Year, the whole movie takes place on the road, trying to get from this weird, like, little Irish town to Dublin. I
love that. Movie. I have it on DVD. I don't remember watching it, so I had no idea it was set over in Ireland.
Yeah, I can't believe that I just pitched that whole movie to you, looking in the wrong camera.
Yeah, I knew you had. That's funny as I'm watching you going. Maybe he's reading off the computer. I don't know what's going on.
Totally looking at. I'm looking at you. It's not looking at my camera.
It's funny. It's totally funny you say that because I've gone this whole time not recording the Zoom. So I hope you've got some kind of audio at your side.
Yeah, the video has audio. Hopefully that's
nothing but professionalism here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, here's something else I realized as I tip my glasses. I've started wearing glasses for the last few weeks just to help my eyes with the computer screen, and The funny thing is, we mentioned Steve Martin before, and in The Jerk, he invents that little thing that goes on your glasses to hold them
Yeah,
up.
right.
And I catch myself in his videos doing this all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And it's simply because I had no idea until I started wearing glasses that they do slip, and you got to kind of just push them up. But I have this weird coincidental thing where I'll do it just after I've made some kind of comment, or just it looks like I'm trying to make myself look smart, and I'm not.
Well, I was going to say the funny thing is that like Steve Martin in The Man with Two Brains, I've actually fallen in love with Kathleen Turner's brain, which I have in a dish by my desk.
Well,
So that
last
works out
week
well.
when we recorded with Jarrett, and I noticed he was doing it too, and it's like, okay, so this is something. It's not just me looking
happens.
pretentious. It's actually a thing that happens.
I haven't worn glasses since I was 5 years old, so I'll just have to bow down to your knowledge in this area.
Bow down to my knowledge because
you wear glasses.
What are some more road trip? Borat is a road trip movie.
Yes, surprisingly. He travels to meet Pamela Anderson. Is that the?
That's right.
The gist of that film. There's also sorry, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I really hope that number 2 is not just a rehash of the first one.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind. I thought the first one was great. If it's just more of the same, it's hilarious.
It'd be much harder. Like what I'm presuming will happen is because he's so recognizable now, he's going to be doing what he did on his TV show and just donning a lot of disguises as he goes.
Yeah, because isn't that all Sacha Baron Cohen's films? Like,
kind of.
Grimsby is kind of it's a bit of a road movie, and Bruno.
But Grimsby was a self-contained sort of narrative. Like Bruno is an improvised thing, as was Borat.
Yeah. And The Dictator is more Grimsby-ish, but they're still. But what I mean is they're basically road movies. They're.
Oh no, they are. What I was meaning is that like he won't be able to fool unsuspecting people along the way.
Yeah, no.
Unless he's going to be donning these
disguises. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't imagine that he'd get away with it this time.
Yeah,
like he's become too well known.
Yeah. What else we got? Rain Man.
Rain Man is a road movie. What about? There's a couple of like horror type ones. Hitcher is a phenomenal road movie. Hitcher 2 and Hitcher the remake. I haven't seen Hitcher 2 yet, but the remake of the Hitcher with Sean Bean.
Jake Busey.
One of the few Sean Bean movies where he doesn't get killed in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Here's what I love about Hitcher 2 though is the fact that what's his name? Thomas C.
C. Thomas Howe.
C. Thomas Howe.
Side out. C. Thomas Howe.
He's trying to tell his girlfriend about this thing that happened to him when he was younger, and he's afraid of road trips and all that, and he won't go on the same road trip again because of what happened. She convinces him to do it, and it happens again. Yeah. On the same part of the highway.
And does he make constant references to I can't believe this is happening again to the same person?
I can't remember that, but the fact that it's Jake Busey and what's it, Carrie Waller, or I can't remember. I can never pronounce her name.
She's also we mentioned Thinner on the podcast. She's in Thinner.
Yep.
We mentioned boobs on the podcast. She has great boobs. They're not hers, but they're store bought, but that's fine.
That's right, and he has a good dick. Just to
balance it out. Yeah, he's like C. Thomas Howell is a known coxman. A swordsman, a woodsman.
In fact, don't they stretch it to the tow bar of a truck and they just pull it?
Yeah, I believe so. They lengthen it.
Stretch Armstrong's his name.
He's a duelist. That's he can cross the streams with impunity.
He's like a Jedi Knight.
He can cross the streams with himself. That's how much of a big dick he is.
Speaking of big dicks, you got Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure.
Pee Wee Herman's is a great movie. What about John Dahl's Joyride?
Yeah, of course.
Is a fantastic road movie. What's the other?
Joyride 2.
What's the other? Electric Boogaloo. What's the other? The other title for Joyride? It had another.
Roadkill.
Roadkill, which I think is how it was released here, wasn't it?
There's an Australian film called Roadkill, horror film with the monster truck.
Yes, that's right, with the road train.
Yeah, and when you open up the bonnet of the train, it's all flesh and blood inside, like it's organic. It's not actually a motor.
Well, that was that. Did you ever watch that TV series? was it Blood Car or whatever it was? The one with the it's like a Death Race 2000 type thing where but their cars are all powered by blood. It's in like a post-apocalyptic. I've got it up there somewhere. Where is it?
Go grab it. Go grab it. Live on air.
Live on air. If I can reach it with my headphones plugged in.
Compulsive viewing.
Blood Drive. That's what it's
Blood
called.
Drive.
Blood Drive.
Oh, here we go.
There's this one right here. It's reversey.
And for the benefit of me, can you hold it to my camera too? Yes. I do know that one.
Yeah.
Yes. I haven't seen it though. Cool. I didn't know that's what it was about.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool kind of. It's like it's an intercontinental road race, but they fuel the cars are fueled by blood and body parts for the most part. So they, have to chomp people usually, and it's because it's like a very kind of dystopian future. The people they chomp are also people who happen to be trying to kill them and stuff. And there was that. What was that? There was another one that's like that. What was that called? It was another kind of futuristic-y road trip movie where there's like 4 tribes, 4 main kind of gangs, and it's like in this kind of.
Doomsday.
No, Doomsday is the Neil
Marshall
movie in the kind of with the savages and stuff.
I don't know the one you're referring to.
I can't remember it. Can't remember what it's called.
That's right.
We may have even played it.
We'll flash it on the screen.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I'll remember it. There was a couple of them. There's one on Netflix as well that just got dropped maybe a couple of years ago now about this guy who teams up. I think his father-in-law is played by Forrest Whitaker, and he teams up with him to get his fiance. Like it's one of those like whatchamacallit, those pinch bombs, the electromagnetic bomb things go off and everything loses power.
An EMD.
Yeah.
EMD,
and he and Forrest Whitaker go to track down his fiancée and her daughter. And Forrest Whitaker doesn't like him because he's a bit of a wimp and stuff.
I've just come up with like a really awesome interactive concept that we could do for the show where we just describe films in the most vague manner and everyone has to guess what the hell we're talking about. Yeah, we could go live every week and just, just be really vague and everyone has to fill in the gaps. That'd be great.
Help Uncle Ben remember things.
No, Ben and Glenn's memory lane or something.
That'd be great. Oh, look, one road movie that I really should mention, and because I championed this release, I was the one who slipped it into our release schedule when I was working for Bounty Films. There's this film called Welcome Home. So Welcome Back, Soldier Boys.
I know that.
It's a fantastic film. Previously to us releasing it on DVD, we're the only country in the world to have this on DVD. It had only ever showed on late night cable. It came out around the same time as First Blood. It was one of the first kind of films to deal with post-traumatic stress in returning soldiers, specifically from Vietnam. And it's Joe Don Baker, Jesse Vint, Alan Paul Koslow, one of the Koslow brothers. There's 2 of them. And it's basically about these 4 soldiers who they're honorably discharged from Vietnam, and they get dropped off, I think, in Los Angeles, and they plan to drive together they all live in like the Florida East Coast side of America. So they plan to rent a car and drive back together. And on the way, they get ripped off by a prostitute. They get their car gets banged up. They run into all sorts of trouble. And then at one point on the way, they pull into this town at like 4:00 in the morning to get some gas. And of course, this town's in the middle of nowhere and the gas station is closed. So they basically clonk on the petrol station's kind of lock and steal the gas. But while they're taking the gas, and they do plan to pay for it, but Joe Don Baker's kind of at this point is just really pissed off and just wants to get home and doesn't want to wait around. But the gas station owner who lives in the house across the road pulls out a shotgun and starts taking pot shots at them for trying to steal his gas. Well, that sets these guys off, and they pop the trunk, and there's this veritable arsenal of weapons that they've pinched from their time in the army, and they
Firstly,
destroy this town. Like they, the cops come or the villagers come with their it's just these 4 guys versus this entire middle America town. It is a phenomenal kind of action sequence.
Sounds absolutely amazing. 2 things. What year was that? Roughly, because
I couldn't tell you. 70s, I think.
Because I'm wondering, is that what the jerk was parodying at the start when he hates these cans and you got the sniper across the road?
I don't think so. This movie's no way would this movie be well known enough for that.
Okay.
This is 1971. It is.
Secondly, well, yeah, okay. Secondly, you were the only company in the world to put this one out.
I believe so.
So how'd the sales for that go?
They were terrible.
But is it still available? Because I want to watch it.
I believe Bounty would still have. It may technically be out of license. I don't want to tell school, but I'm positive that if you jump on eBay, they will have it. They will have it listed there.
They will have every copy that was ever printed,
minus the ones that I took. I wonder if it's.
Dude,
I'm totally going to have a look and see if it's on. It should be on eBay. Okay. I'm going to give them a call and ream them out if it's not.
All right. Well, while you're looking for that, we're going to just slowly and gently fade.